10, T-minus 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Solid rocket ignition.
Je krijgt een beetje over de mist hier. Toch dat ik hem over zo te zien. Als ik hem overdraai, hoe het eruit ziet. Ga wel even beginnen, gewoon. Kom op. Alleen geen geluid.
Endeavour Houston, a good morning to the blue team, passing along the sentiments of the entire control team.
Good morning, Mario. We're looking forward to getting that last 9 hours for you. It's been a great job so far, and we're looking forward to finishing it up.
Endeavour Houston, just a note of milestone for the mission. We are currently 1 minute after 9:09, 1 after 9:09, and we're still mapping.
That's great news, Mario. We'll just keep on going as long as you let us. Thanks for that call, Steve. We appreciate the efforts of all you folks on the ground to give us a prop to get these extra 9 hours and to get all this great mapping done in the true spirit of never give up, never surrender. We really appreciate all your hard work.
On behalf of all of us beneficiaries of the SRTM mission, we'd like to congratulate you on a flawless operation of this most sophisticated mapping instrument in the universe. I think the mapping data you've collected is some of the most valuable accomplishments in the history of spaceflight. JV and the rest of the crew, and this topographic database will be a real treasure of the human race for many years.
These operations follow very successful completions of mapping operations. The total duration of 222 hours and 23 the Earth has ever seen. Those operations covered 99.98% of the target area of the land between 60 degrees north latitude and 56 degrees south latitude at least once.
Endeavour Houston, you have a go to start on time. Step Juliet, 1933.
Stevie, copy. Thanks. Houston, Endeavour, we're at step Juliet 10. We'll give you a count for the power on.
We're watching with good video.
Power coming on. 3, 2, 1, on.
And retraction begins.
Houston, Endeavour, if you've got video, you can probably see in Julia 11 that the mast is moving.
We have an excellent video view, and we see good currents also.
Mast retraction well underway. Flight controllers report seeing good electrical currents during the retract procedure. And television resumes.
Endeavour Houston back with you with a good video picture in daylight, no less.
Sound clear, Steve.
Endeavour has emerged from the orbital night in the daylight, just in time for these shots of the last few bays being retracted into the mast canister. The outboard antenna in its flipped stowed position is moving over the top of the canister now. Still looking for indications of latch. The almost 200-foot mast that supported the outboard antenna during radar mapping operations has been successfully retracted into the 9-foot canister that housed it on launch and will house it on return to Earth. Mast retraction operations began at 7:19 a.m. and concluded at 7:37. However, crew members and flight controllers have seen no indications of latches closing. There are 3 latches on the cover, and flight rules call for at least 2 of them to be latched before storage operations are complete. Crew members, flight controllers in mission control, and payload operations center personnel continue to investigate the situation.
JV, with a combination of heaters and sun, we think the canister and its contents have been warming up and hopefully loosening up some stiffer elements inside. Our big picture is to actually drive the latches open and then attempt to restow with the latches driven open instead of in their passive mode. JV, as you might imagine, we're thinking of repeating the same thing we just tried, only this time using max torque, and we're putting together the final words. Looks like those cables are stiffer than we'd planned. I think getting the latches out of the way probably took away some resistance, and we may just need a little more torque to push them down into the canister. We'll stand by a little bit longer, and we appreciate your patience. In addition, any comments or insights that you may have, since you know the system so well, are much appreciated by those of us here on the ground.
The only other, Steve, is whether you want to back up a little bit to get it off the latches completely to remove any residual force that might be there.
Okay, thanks for the input. We discussed that also, and the final analysis was we'd, at this point, like to avoid going in the outwards direction and put all our efforts into going inwards.
Yeah, that was the other half of our discussion as well. Thanks.
Houston Endeavour, mass power coming on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark.
Some motion after mast power applied, but the gap between the canister mouth and the lid remains open. Power continues to be applied to those motors.
And Houston, if you had good downlink, you saw us. We had initial good movement. It's hard to say here, about maybe a quarter of an inch or so. But then again, it just stalled out right there. After the power came off it came back about half that distance of what it initially went in, but it's a little bit closer, not much, than when we started off.
Endeavor is actually the same as the old plan, only with a little modification. The first step is to A7 lower from the mass torque, check. The switch is in the max position. And then we would like you to repeat the procedure you did before with some changes in the times. Starting with on page 3-9 of payload ops, steps Juliet 5 through 11. And when you go to mass power on Juliet 10, we'd like you to stay on for 15 seconds. 15 seconds or until the gap closes, when you see a visual closure there. If no joy, power comes off again, 3-10, step K, and wait 5 minutes. We'd like to go through this process 3 times total.
Can we land this way?
And the 5-minute wait, of course, is for the SMDAs to cool off. And the idea is we're hoping that the cables are warming up in there and we'll be able to use the max torque to just push them in further in the canister.
On my mark, 3, 2, 1, mark.
And applause here in
You
mission
probably
control.
saw it came out a little bit and then came shut. We've got the power off. And we turn the power off, and visually it looks like it's closed.
Applause in mission control.
Copy all,
as
Kevin.
the
Great work.
The
Stand by just
lead
one.
appears to be firmly seated.